Should I have my legs crossed or does it matter?
Velour, love velour.
111.
Okay, well, I'm Dr. Josh Healy. I'm a Senior Research Fellow at the Centre for Workplace Leadership at the University of Melbourne.
My name's Ruth Williams. I'm the academic convener of the Hallmark Ageing Research Initiative.
So ageism is a form of stereotyping, and it's a judgment based on the attributes of a group, a bit similar in some ways to sexism or racism. Ageism can, in theory, cut both ways.
It can happen to younger people as well as older people. So we set about surveying 1,000 people from all over Australia.
And what we wanted to know in this study is what are those attitudes, where do they come from, who holds them, and why. Younger people, men in general, lower educated people, and in some cases people from non-English speaking backgrounds are more likely to hold particularly succession-based views of ageism. So that's the long-winded version.
It's a boxing group for older women.
Oh, no, don't say that, it's for women. I think Ruby's must be our youngest.
I didn't know any of the other ladies, but I just like doing a different form of exercise than what I usually do.
She can do things we can't do.
I'd like to think that.
In Australia since 1970, the number of people over the age of 65 has trebled. If you think of our population structure as a sort of tilting seesaw, we've added in a lot more people at the older end of that seesaw and very few at the younger end. There's always been this mystery about ageism. How can it exist? Because it's happening to all of us, right? We're all in the process of aging, and so it's a kind of failure of imagination. We can't sort of see ourselves in the shoes of the older population.
I was the head brewer here at Mountain Goat from about 2011 through to about a year ago.
Started off here almost 4 years ago in logistics.
I think when I was younger, I actually got on better with older people.
Even at a young age, first management role I was 19. Most 19-year-olds now I meet are just like bloody hopeless.
There's generational change for you.
Yeah.
People who are likely to hold negative attitudes towards older people are likely to do so in situations of what we call succession.
They feel that older people in society have accumulated more resources and more status than they need.
A younger worker might feel that an older worker is holding up positions of status or power and feels that they should move along into retirement.
Sorry, can you repose the question for me?
The government is putting some policies in place to try and encourage older workers to remain in the workforce for longer. However, many of these have had varying successes.
Something like 1 in 10 Australian businesses have a hiring limit. They found that this cuts in at around about 50 years of age. That's many decades shy of elderly.
For the first time in history, we have 4 to 5 generations working alongside each other.
I know where I work, everything's changing. So we have to learn from them because we'll get left behind.
If you think that older people have too much of a share of the good life now,
The silver tsunami and how we're going to be overcome by older people.
then you're likely to feel that even more acutely in the future as the resources of our society are directed more and more to their needs.
How old is old?
Ooh.
Old?
How old is old? 40 plus starts to get old in my books.
60.
79.
90.
99. Someone with grey hair.
I think I probably will live Probably to about 100 and something.
I've stopped at 50.
Numbers are probably arbitrary.
So you can always tell an old person by wrinkly elbows. Whatever they've had done to their face, they will have wrinkly elbows.
Yeah, I think some people are not scared of aging, and that probably makes them funnier.
When I was younger or when I was a kid, I thought that people who had lived more years had it together.
You calm down. Maybe it's also because you lose a bit of testosterone, which I wish I had back.
Well, I remember when I turned 18, I thought that was it. I was an adult, I could do everything.
I'm 16, I can drive now.
Hey Mom, can you... Oh, wait, your mum's not there, so you have to go, Google, how do I cook a simple meal for like dinner?
Sometimes I'd like young people just to get out of the way because they're just ambling along. And I don't amble.
People of my generation tend to think that they'll never own a home and that the baby boomers have hogged the entire housing market. They're not going to be around forever.
I feel like children don't have enough of a voice that's taken seriously.
People assume that because I'm 16 that if I was living in a house with them that I'd be constantly partying, making a mess, but I'm quite quiet.
It's funny because I work with quite young people and I can see that they get exasperated with me because they think technology is beyond me.
No offense, but I wouldn't recommend social media for older people.
Whilst we respect older people for changing them, they need to understand that we're also changing times.
There's a certain time of your life where you just seem to become invisible.
Age doesn't bring wisdom, I don't think.
I just really hate that quote, act your age, because there's no age to act.
I do know the future is waiting and I'm ready to come.